Okay, let's talk Canadian oil and gas. Birchcliff Energy beating production expectations in the third quarter, and it is increasing its full year production forecast. This, of course, an energy producer which has been facing weak natural gas prices in Alberta, which at times this year have dipped into the negative. Let's get more from Chris Carlsen, CEO of Birchcliff Energy. Chris, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Just remind us, what is your weighting in natural gas as opposed to oil and liquids?
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. And thanks for having us on. So our weighting today is about 80% natural gas. As you mentioned, we had a really strong quarter in Q3, and we believe that's a result of a few things. Number one, strong production. The second is our low cost structure. And then, as you mentioned, the local market at AECO here, the gas prices were quite weak. So we benefited quite heavily from our natural gas diversification, which we have about 75% of our gas sold in U.S. markets, whether it's NYMEX or in Southern Ontario with Dawn that fetches a U.S. price as well.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, you said about 70%?
75% of our gas would be sold outside of the local AECO market. So that's really, from Birchcliff's point of view, we had a real resilient and I'd say strong quarter, notwithstanding the local prices were quite weak here. So we posted over 80,000 barrels a day of production. We had $87 million of cash flow. We spent about 71, so that netted us about $16 million of free cash flow, which is quite unusual, I'd say, compared to a lot of the peers to have free cash flow in a quarter. It just really speaks to the resiliency of our business.
I know another producer, Advantage Energy, in its latest quarter, was actually at times getting natural gas at negative prices. They were being paid to take it off people, and then they were turning around and reselling it, so they didn't have to deplete their own asset base. Is that a thing you've been able to do as well? Get paid to take natural gas off other people?
Yeah, it depends on how you market your gas. So sometimes you can sell it on a monthly price. Sometimes you can sell it on the daily price. We've got a very small volume of our gas that is sold on the daily price at the local AECO market. So for us, we want our equipment out in the field, our operations out in the field. You can't dial it in minute by minute.
Right.
So from our point of view, the benefit for us was really, again, we talked about that market diversification, having the majority of our gas being sold in stronger markets, along with, I would say, our focus on developing some of our more liquids-rich part of our asset. Our condensate production, quarter over quarter was up about 44% compared to last year in Q3. So we were focusing during the earlier portion of the year on more liquids-weighted drilling to take advantage of what we thought were higher commodity prices relating to the condensate versus natural gas. And I think, the industry, and you've probably heard this from other producers as well, is we're very excited about what the future holds for natural gas. When you think about some of the new LNG demand coming off our West Coast, you can see winter coming. There's a bunch of additional demand coming from LNG in the US, as well as sort of a newer demand theme, which is power generation to feed AI. So, all those things together really have a robust outlook for natural gas. And when we sort of pair that with what Birchcliff can offer, we're really excited about the rest of the year. When we think about 2025, Q4 for us will be a significant free cash flow quarter where we expect to generate $100+ million of cash flow and spend 30 to 40, which will mean a significant amount of debt repayment for us in Q4. And we'll end the year in a very strong position. As you mentioned earlier, our actual production was ahead of consensus. We're bringing 3 more wells on within our original production and capital guidance. So that's going to be strong production for Q4. And that really leads into 2026 and all this demand that I just spoke about, where we're going to grow our business and fill all of our existing infrastructure. So that'd be a unique quality for Birchcliff, where we have probably 10,000 BOEs a day of growth in our existing asset base. And so when we add that production, we actually get the benefit of increased production revenue, but we also get the benefit of using all that excess infrastructure and driving our per unit cost down, which will increase our net back and increase our free cash flow moving forward. So we're very excited about 2026, but we're also flexible in that program when we think about commodity prices are moving all over the place, but we definitely have a positive outlook, but we also have flexibility built into our go-forward plans.
And what is this Elmworth asset? What is that? Because that's a new thing in your portfolio.
Yeah, so if you just think about Birchcliff very simply, is the majority of our production, our reserves, our cash flow is generated out of our Pouce-Coupe and Gordondale asset, which is all north of Grand Prairie, all based in Alberta, right on the border of British Columbia in the northwest part of Alberta. Just south of there, about 25 miles, we've got a future development area where we've got 3 wells drilled. We don't have any production coming out of there currently. We don't have any reserves there. And that's really a major future growth asset for Birchcliff that, in our view, will come on sometime in late 28, early 2029, right into, again, future outlook in terms of natural gas demand. And that'll be an asset that has significant inventory and future inventory for Birchcliff to continue to grow the business. So we're very excited about that in the future. But I'd say that our goal there is to try and bring the value forward over time. And so we're contemplating future work on an 80 to 100 million a day gas plant that we would own and control down in that area in the future.
Can you remind me, do you have a direct investment in any of these LNG export projects?
Yeah, so Birchcliff would be one of the founding members of Silism's LNG.
Oh, okay.
And so Silism's LNG is really, Birchcliff as a founding member of Rockies is one piece of the cog, if you will, in the wheel of Silism. So Silism is made up of Rockies LNG, which is a consortium of energy producers, Birchcliff being one of them. Then there's Western LNG that is really the facility and pipeline developer. And then there's the Nisga'a First Nation, on whose traditional territory the project resides, is the other partner in the project. So that project, I'm sure you've seen some of the rumors about it potentially being put onto the major projects list. We haven't heard that for sure, but that's a rumor that you've seen several reports on. But that's our play as an intermediate sized producer, is to be part of a larger consortium that can then move our gas in the future through that project and access world pricing. But today we don't have access to world pricing ourselves.
Yeah, and that one, Silism's in Northwest BC. There is a dispute among Indigenous groups over that one. Some communities opposed. So I guess these things, there always is a bit of to and fro on the regulatory and legal front.
Yeah, I can't comment on that. I think from our point of view, the project has great benefit to Canada, to sell our gas and our resources overseas and provide the world what it needs, which is responsible, clean, low-cost energy. I think as Canadians, it's a great piece of business. And so we'll work through all the consultation, continue to work through that as a project member.
Are you involved in any local initiatives where you'd supply natural gas directly to a data center for generating? Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a great question, Andrew. We continue to evaluate that. Is there a chance for behind the gate power generation that sets up a data center? I think Alberta is a great place for that. And you'll see over time as that industry develops that the weather we have here, the resources we have here, the government that's situated in Alberta is quite industry friendly when it comes to thinking about new ideas and how that all works. So I think you'll see over time that become more and more of a piece of the demand picture for natural gas in the province.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate your time. Thanks again.
Talk soon, Chris. Chris Carlsen, President and CEO at Birchcliff Energy.